fought the rest, now try the best!
Wait, this part here is pretty interesting. The news of her spread and everyone went to go fight her. And all of these dots are important places in Tekken. And if you really look at it, it's places where Tekken characters come from. We have leaked information about Craig Marduk. If he's the first character of season 2, that would mean he's immediately after Marizu. And for him to be going to Marizu makes sense because all of these other dots also points to specific characters and where they're from. So why is it pointing to Australia? Now, you could look at it from this perspective. Let's not just completely jump the gun. You could look at it from this perspective of the developers are just creating this graph of the globe and they didn't want to leave Australia out because it is a part of the globe. If I seen Maximillion's take, now to see Maximillion's take, what'd he say?
Mary Sue? That has to be on purpose, right? Is she gonna do everything?
How do you guys feel about Marizu showing up and being the strongest character in Tekken? I know when that idea was pitched with Lydia, you guys hated it. You guys hated the idea of Lydia being able to go toe-to-toe with the Mishimas. Now, we found out that wasn't true because Heihachi stumped her, Eddie, and Yoshi at the same time. But Haran could go toe-to-toe with the Mishimas. Paul Phoenix can. Kuma can. There's characters who could go toe-to-toe with the Mishimas. Marizu, her being a character with all the powers, with all the abilities, one have to ask, she is enhanced by 2 gods. And they told us in their trailer that everyone is traveling to Madagascar to face her. They're not going to travel to Madagascar to fight a scrub.
We'll have access to all the characters in early December. Early December in the first week is the Game Awards. So I'm just saying the chance that Bandai Namco would go out of their way and make a big reveal at the Game Awards, which is exactly what they did at the Game Awards before with Clive, maybe, just maybe. You know, TWT is a month after, though. Right, but 1/300th the amount of people will be watching TWT in comparison to the Game Awards.
Let's play off of this idea that Maximillion just threw out, right? Last year with Clive, they paid, what was it, 130,000 USD to have a 45-second trailer shown for Clive. I think it was something like that. The prices for the Game Awards leaked and it was like 100,000 for like 40 seconds or something like that, right? One could argue whether or not that was successful. I think so because a lot of people do play Clive, especially a lot of new people. The people who say that Clive is unpopular is people who don't like Clive. But people who do like Clive, or just people, the statistics show that Clive is popular, right? That's the point. So one could argue that that was successful. But here's the thing. If Anna, Fakaram, Armor King, and Marizu are all released by December 8th, and then the Game Awards happens, what will they show at the Game Awards? 2 things come to mind. 1, you can show all 4 DLC characters for Season 2 at once, like the players have been demanding. Street Fighter did that last year, right? They showed all 4 characters at once. Tekken 8 could do that, or they could do story DLC. And they could say story DLC releases tomorrow. Think about it. Everyone's talking about story DLC this, story DLC that, but we have no signs of story DLC. I was literally just saying, when are they going to release story DLC? In Season 3? That doesn't make sense. Why would you release story DLC for Season 2 and Season 3? If they had story DLC cooking right now, working on it in secret, and then they did a big story DLC 2 trailer at Game Awards and said, out now, that would make sense. Because not only would all 4 characters be released at that time, but you do a big story DLC to explain everything. So all of the stuff we're confused about would then make sense. But then you would also capture a lot of people, a lot of eyes, and try to retain them up until the Tekken World Tour, which is a month later. And then at the Tekken World Tour, you announce the next characters and you get more hype, and that way you would hope to retain those people. That's an idea. Now, the only reason why I'm throwing this idea out is because of what Maximillion said. Before then, I wasn't even considering them doing a reveal at Game Awards, but if we're considering a reveal at Game Awards, it would be one of those 2.
If anything, there might be a teaser, because the story is also going to have to continue. I'm not saying it's going to be Tifa. I'm just saying there was no guest character in this season. So if there was going to be a guest character,
And we definitely need a guest character in season 3 though. Agree or disagree? I would like one from another fighting game, but if we're only going to get one and in season 4 we're not going to get one, then they need to go all out with this one.
If we're going to go down this rabbit hole of like what's possible, honestly, dude, Tifa is at like a 5%. And the reason Tifa's at a 5%, I say the Tifa.
Why does he keep talking about Tifa, bro? Maximillion was talking about Tifa this, Tifa that in Tekken 7. He's been talking about Tifa for like 6 years. Saying Tifa, you're gaslighting the players and yourself.
I think there's going to be a Tekken trailer. I really do. I think the probability of it being a guest character trailer is fairly high.
So look, I was going the route of a trailer at Game Awards being season 2 related, maybe have all the DLC characters. I was going the route of it being story related to really end off season 1. But he's pitching the idea of it, yes, being season 2 related, but not having all the characters and instead starting season 2 with a guest character. I mean, that would be cool. We know specifically Harada said Miguel and Kunimitsu are very likely. We know Marduk has leaked data. We know that Harada was asking about Julia's outfit and how to redesign it to not upset people on Twitter. So those are the 4 names that are highly possible. But if he wants to push some of those characters back and give us a DLC, I guess, by all means. You guys want a Virtual Fighter guest character? You do have that tweet from Harada where he said he would collaborate with Virtual Fighter, 1, if they want to do it, but 2, if they announce a new game. And then they have announced a new game, right? We're waiting for details. The Virtual Fighter guys also said that the next reveal that they do will be the biggest one yet. And considering that they said that, I think that their next reveal will happen at the Game Awards. Because why would you do your quote-unquote biggest reveal yet at anything besides the biggest event of the year? Would they do a Tekken 8 guest character that's Virtual Fighter, and Virtual Fighter also do this huge reveal too? I mean, all of these ideas are likely. I mean, take your pick, place your bet. All of these are equally as likely, which is why we're talking about it, It's also as equally as likely as they do nothing. Maximillion could be gaslighting us right now by even having us think about Tekken Game Awards reveals,
For some reason, we're already seeing this character's gameplay trailer before this guy is even out. They're really front-loading this for some reason in terms of their preview.
So the season 2 characters are being released, teased, all of it sooner. Why do you guys think that they are moving faster in terms of releasing characters? I don't want to gaslight you about story, but it would make sense that they are moving faster to get all of this stuff out to then get story as the primary. It would make sense, but we could most certainly be wrong. GTA 6? Yeah, that's true as well. Let's try to get as much out there, hook as many people before GTA 6. There's Tekken players who think that GTA 6 isn't going to have an effect on Tekken 8. I made a video and people was like, you moron. GTA 6 and Tekken player base is totally different audiences. And I think it's so interesting because we've seen other games released that's much smaller than GTA have an impact.